Hello and welcome to the pilot episode of Exploring the Dungeon. I'm the producer, Ian Billings, and this is my co-host, Logan Kennard.
Hi.
This podcast is all about breaking down the mechanics, world building, ideas, rules, and gameplay of Dungeons & Dragons. Make sure to check out our other podcasting content on YouTube under Hellfire Studios. Alright, let's jump right into it. Logan, What are we talking about today?
Let's start off with the fact that now I'm the second host. I'm not the first guy anymore. Like, that's weird. That's weird, man. It's just a little strange.
What?
Nothing. Don't worry about it. But to start off, I just want to talk about alignment in Dungeons & Dragons.
Alignment?
Opinion.
Okay. So, alignment in Dungeons & Dragons, we should maybe describe that just for people who aren't maybe familiar with it.
All right, we can start with that. So, alignment is basically a 9x9 grid that goes lawful, neutral, chaotic, and evil, neutral, good. It's just a 3x3 grid aligning with this where their alignments are lawful good or chaotic neutral or something along those lines.
Okay. And so what's your opinion on what was it called? Alignment. What's your opinion on it?
I don't like alignment.
You don't like alignment,
it's a waste of time, yeah.
And why is that?
It doesn't accomplish anything. Like, the point of alignment is supposed to, in Dungeons & Dragons, the point is to give your character a set of things. But then you have moments where, like, the lawful good guy walks up and steals from a poor person to catch the thief or whatever. That doesn't make sense. You can't hold someone to that kind of standard where they are in that box. You have good people who do bad things, and you have bad people who do good things. And there's this other argument that evil just means self-serving, but even that doesn't make sense, because you could have an evil good person who's self-serving, but at the same time, like Robin Hood, freaking self-serving other people, but at the same time he's helping other people by being self-serving. You see, it just doesn't make sense.
Okay, so what do you think with, I don't know, maybe in the next 10, 15 years, Wizards of the Coast coming out with the next edition of D&D, maybe 6th edition, do you think they should get rid of alignment?
No, it's a good general tool. I just don't play with it. I use it as just a descriptive item. I don't think it's something that should be played with. I think it's something that's just fun to talk about. Okay,
and we've played where we don't use alignment and stuff, and I'm not opposed to it. Yeah. I don't care either using alignment or don't, because I always go with the one that'll let me have the most freedom with my characters. Yeah. So,
I mean, it doesn't. But there are spell effects that are directly related to alignment. For instance,
that's true.
Thing, you pull a card, and your alignment changes to evil. Well, how did that work? Like, the magic item suddenly changes inherently who you were. Like, suddenly all your life experiences. I was this good cleric who saved people's lives, and I pulled this random card, and you know what I'm going to go out and do? I'm going to go blow up a school.
Well, I mean, it is the deck of many things. You can literally get transported to the void and just be nothing for the rest of the time.
That makes sense, because the deck's supposed to be random, but doesn't change your life experiences. Like, even if you suddenly have an inclination to go do something evil, you'd be like, why do I feel this way? Something's weird about me. And you'd go see, like, a cleric and get yourself greater restoration and fixed or something like that.
Okay, that's fair.
Doesn't.
So you don't think that should be that alignment?
No, I don't think there should be alignment-based spells. I think it doesn't make sense.
Okay, so maybe don't get rid of alignment altogether, but instead of incorporating it into the rules and stuff, just take it just as a general basis that you could base your character off of, but it doesn't actually affect anything in game.
Yes, it shouldn't be involved in gameplay. It's just it's something you read. It's something you do to say, what would happen generally? It's a generalistic thing. So if it's a generalistic thing, it shouldn't be applied to rules. Like, if you are shooting the BBEG and it's the last minute of your campaign, it's the last guy's getting his last attack with 1 HP left, he's going to do the final hit, you're going to fudge the distance that spell can go a little bit. If he's like 2 foot short, you're going to fudge that distance. It's just like that. It's just something that should be able to be messed around with. It's not something that's...
And it's entirely up to the dungeon master too, because like when I DM, I really don't care if my players are using alignment or not. If they do, I like to use it kind of as a general term, just like And then if their character does something that's out of that, I'll be like, hey, this is kind of morally conflicting with your alignment? Are you sure alignment's for you type deal? Because if they can't roleplay the alignment, then I'm like, why did you choose it in the first place? Because sometimes in D&D, I feel like people play way too much as themselves, and D&D is meant to be, you're playing a character that has nothing to do with you. They might share a similar moral standard, but if you're playing someone, I don't know, like a chaotic, evil warlock or something,
and you talk like this, and
you
destroy
talk like
stuff.
this, yes.
There is no man who likes anymore.
You shouldn't be playing it like you, like, oh, I'm gonna go save my grandma. No, if your character's chaotic evil, you're gonna kill your grandma and you're gonna eat her like the crab from freaking Moana.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
What was his name? Tamatoa?
Tamatoa, yeah. With the shiny song and all that. Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah. So, okay. So you're saying that it should be just more general based.
Yeah, you shouldn't. Yeah, I just don't think it should be incorporated in the rules. I think it should be like, it should be something that's put in the DMG rather than the PHB. Like it doesn't. Mm-hmm. It's not something that players should worry about.
Yeah, it should be something.
The DM will say, "Oh, here's this cool thing you can use if you don't have any ideas about what your character should do." But you shouldn't be able to say, "Well, using my DM magic, I suddenly am able to. Your character's now going to go kill this person rather than save them."
Yeah, no. So. Right now we've got, so we're just recording this in my basement actually, but we've got the Player's Handbook and the Dungeon Master's Guide in front of us, and Logan has the Monster Manual open right in front of him. He's on the Flump page for some reason. What are we doing with the Monster Manual?
The Flame Skull. Well, I was just looking at the Flame Skull today.
Oh, okay.
And I was, it's on page 134 of the the Monster Manual. Uh-huh. And I was looking at it, and I just think this is kind of awesome. So according to Eternally this is Eldritch Rejuvenation. So the Flame Skull's shattered fragments can reform unless they're splashed with holy water. So if you defeat this thing and it doesn't do anything, it comes back, but it's autonomous. It's subject to itself.
Yeah.
Think how funny this would be as like a reoccurring like minor villain. Have you seen what's it called? Have you seen Gravity Falls?
Yeah.
Like little Gideon after the first season becomes like a minor
villain that keeps shows up occasionally. Yeah.
Or have you seen the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? It's on.
I've seen a couple episodes. Yeah.
There's a worm guy in there who's just like this. Is completely can't hurt anybody. But he just keeps showing up at the worst moments.
Kind of like Ice King in Adventure Time.
Yes, Ice King.
Ice King in Adventure Time.
This guy who just, after a little bit, is no longer a threat, but he's just super funny to have as a reoccurring character.
Yeah.
And as he serves himself now, like he could do so many fun things. Like you could have him.
That would be pretty funny.
Like he could be like have a skeleton underneath him that's separate entity, and so he has to communicate with it. So like it's a skeleton without a head. And so he's working a bar or something like that. You see what you've reduced me to? He's serving the adventurers.
Oh man, I can see that.
Be so much fun.
So in the book, what does the alignment say? Because I know all the monsters have.
It says a neutral evil, and it's
neutral evil.
Come on, it doesn't have to be evil. Like imagine like meeting just a skull that's on fire. It's just like, what's up? Just comes over to you. Yeah. It's like, no, I kind of stand here all day. I was supposed to do here, but someone killed me to put me in this position, so I'm not really inclined to help out with this person. So go ahead and head in. Like, it doesn't make like that's the neutral part, of course. But then evil, it's gonna be like, no, I'm going to self-serve. How can I manipulate the situation to the best of my ability? No, it doesn't. It's not intelligent enough to do that anymore. It's a spell that's maintained itself for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
It's just not.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense anymore.
So do you think that alignment should be like a baseline factor for some monsters or some things?
I think it's a good generalistic thing, but I think it shouldn't be taken that seriously.
It shouldn't be taken seriously.
It's just it's a joke. It's something you do just to say, in this world, everybody's evil until one of your characters says, I want to play a good vampire. Okay, there's a single good vampire. But I want to play a vampire. Okay, there's two good vampires. You know what? Screw it. Okay, there's a colony of good vampires on the. Yeah, you just use it as a excuse just to run around. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun to do.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know. We're just looking through this book.
We're looking through the book right now. We're by
so
dryads and stuff right now. Dragon turtles.
I think it's the Gith. The Gith that turn up in here. Those guys are just the Eldari. Those are just the Eldari. Dungeons and Dragons ripped off 40K again.
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
Yeah.
G.
Yeah. It's in the G. It's under the monks. Yeah, they're. Keep going.
Right there,
keep
right
going.
there,
Yeah, I saw them.
Almost there.
I think they're right after giants.
Yeah, there we are.
Go back. Yeah. The Gith right here. So there's
spacefaring, warlike elves.
Literally,
it's the freaking Eldari. Okay, somebody.
Yeah.
You ripped off 40K again, guys. I'm sorry. I love you, but you can't be doing that. 40K is its own thing.
When I explain to my players when I'm DMing for them, if I ever have like a Gith character or something come in, or they're like meeting with a Gith, I say basically it's a yellow space marine elf. Like that's what it is. It's a yellow elf.
Yellow Eldari.
That is a space marine. It's an Eldari. You're absolutely correct with that. Yeah.
Okay, but not to be confused. Have you heard of the GIF that's in TCE, Tasha's Cauldron of Everything? It's a hippopotamus person with a gun. It's amazing. Oh my gosh. It's so much fun to play with.
They just talk like this. They wander around the town.
Wait, so
is intelligent.
So it's a hippo humanoid.
Yes.
With like a shotgun is what I'm imagining.
With like a blunderbuss?
Right,
yes.
Okay, so it's an artificer hippo human.
No, it's not an artificer.
Oh, it's
they
not
don't know
an
how to
artificer?
build stuff. They just have
They have a gun.
They have a guy who builds a gun for them.
Oh, that's
and
funny.
They're like a militaristic hippo race. Each one of them gets a grenade, a rifle.
Oh my
and
god!
They just set out there, man. Conquer the universe. You got this.
That is
it's like a freaking. It's like a British
funny.
regimental, I think.
It's
just awesome. It's just like, okay, these guys are gonna conquer the world. I don't know how, but it's just amazing to just hear them. Oh my gosh, I love that idea. That one's
that's funny.
Brilliant.
But so why are we on the Giths? Like as far as the alignment stuff.
Alignment. Well, the Gith are they're weird because they're supposedly evil, or at least they're evil, self-serving. But the whole point of the Gith is they're actually protecting the entire multiverse.
Yeah, and
the Illithids or the
mind flayers, because they used to be enslaved by them, right? Yeah.
They despise mind flayers with every fiber of their being, and they just continue to this day, which just doesn't make sense. Because if they're evil, why are they're still doing this really good thing hundreds of years after it stopped applying to them?
I don't know.
Still, it just doesn't.
I don't know.
Apply
tradition,
anymore.
maybe something.
Maybe it's tradition. Maybe you could make that argument.
I don't know, but you know, like. Okay, for anyone who's actually listening, no
one's actually listening.
What I'm about to describe is interesting. Okay, so you know my character Jeffrey.
Yes, Jeffrey. Oh my gosh, the Eldritch being Jeffrey.
Jeffrey is a animated
He's
shrub.
a shrubbery.
He's a shrubbery. Okay. For the knights who say "nee," no.
Not
so
big,
he's a shrubbery that's maybe like 2 feet tall. Kind of like if you've ever seen Steven Universe, he looks like the Watermelon Steven episode type deal. But if
he's a bush with
he's just
humanoid
a
features.
bush with like
no
chubby
face,
humanoid features.
No face, just arms, just
actually
arms,
I got
legs.
I have some art of him floating around somewhere.
Awesome.
But he has like these little like white eyes poking out from the bushes, but that's basically it. Yeah. Okay. So he Jeffrey is a character who was part of a party I was in. I was DMing for just for like a little bit, and then after that kind of disbanded because we all got busy with work and school and things like that. Jeffrey, I decided to continue his story, so Jeffrey went off on his own adventure, became this huge, powerful eldritch being and stuff. And I know it sounds like I'm rambling, but I will get to the point here. Jeffrey goes off, does his thing. He comes across in the universe that I'm in this multiverse, right, that I've built. With help from other people and stuff, like Logan, one of Logan's worlds that we were playing with has Jeffrey and is taking place in this multiverse I built, right?
Hail Jeffrey!
So Jeffrey, the Eldritch Shrubbery, right?
Sponsors
and I have a stat block
sorcerer
floating around somewhere. Yeah, but he actually, like, the Mind Flayers, when they were like at their most powerful and they'd enslaved the Gith, Jeffrey showed up with his army of just random Eldritch Shrubbery, right? And I have a stat block floating around somewhere. Yeah, but he actually, like, the Mind Flayers, when they were like at their most powerful and they'd enslaved the Gith, Jeffrey showed up with his army of just random people and stuff that he'd collected over the years of just traveling through the multiverse and whatnot and becoming like this eldritch god, basically. He wipes out the Mind Flayers almost entirely, gets the Gith to work for him, so now he has Space Marines working for him in Jeffrey. So I just wanted to point that out if you didn't know that.
Why is Jeffrey so good at everything? It doesn't make sense.
He's not, okay? It was trial and error, okay? It was trial and error. And there are things that can kill him. Like if he was to get transported to the negative plane, or heck, even the positive plane, it would be too much and he would just die.
Well, yeah, because he just doesn't make sense. He's a random character.
He's a reoccurring NPC that's happened in multiple parties that I've DM'd or I've been a part of. So in Logan's one, we were playing characters, and one of the characters was a warlock whose patron was Jeffrey.
Hail Jeffrey!
Hail Jeffrey!
And it was a cult following thing where he'd show up in a town, put down a little shrub, and the shrub would eat people as like a cult sacrifice to Jeffrey. And it was so stupid. But he's just this.
Except for the occasional like NPC who would walk up to the bush and hug it.
Oh yeah,
Nat 20 and just,
Nat 20 and walk away.
Feel like so enlightened. Mm-hmm. Just walk away, just feeling your life has been made the better because of Jeffrey. And you're just like, what?
And Jeffrey, like, so with Logan, so Jeffrey is one I came up with some friends like 2 years back. Completely different group of friends than the one me and Logan are a part of.
Yeah, we're just playing different.
Yeah, we were playing, but I had mentioned Jeffrey just to the group I was playing with Logan and stuff. And, where was I? Oh, so Logan just kind of took it and ran with it. And the people in our party just kind of took it and were like, okay, let's go with this. Let's have a warlock and whatnot. And it was just really funny, you know?
It was ridiculous. It was at one point someone threw their idol of Jeffrey, which was a little bush, which was 1 foot tall, looked just like Jeffrey, threw him and rolled a dice, not 20. So I said, okay, you know what happens? You get basically a nuclear warhead in the form of a shroom.
Oh yeah, so
consumes everything.
The avatar of Jeffrey is this material plane shrub, right? That the warlock of Jeffrey
just carries him around.
Carries around, and he places it in a town, sacrifices people to Jeffrey by preaching the good word. And so what would happen is the shrub would grow and grow and grow until it overtook the town, just this huge thing.
Just a giant shrub. The town's a shrub now.
And it would take like a couple weeks to consume the whole town and stuff. And then the warlock would take another piece from this giant shrub and go off on his merry way.
Go into another town. Just keep spreading the good word of Jeffrey.
The good word of Jeffrey.
Literally spreading.
Literally spreading the good word, or in this case, cannibalistic shrub of Jeffrey.
Jeffrey wasn't actually evil. He was actually going to restore all the people after the danger was gone. That was what was going to happen.
True.
But then we had to cut that one short.
Yeah, he got busy with work and things like that. Yeah.
But he was great.
Yeah. So that was a long kind of off-topic thing. Was there anything about alignment we wanted to talk a little more about?
There's anything else we want to talk about alignment? No? I just think it's just in closing. I think it's a thing that's supposed to be just generalistic and shouldn't be used for actual rule applications.
Okay, yeah, I could totally see that. So maybe in like the 6th edition or whatever, just spin off.
In 6th edition, all I want is just no more spells that apply to
alignment.
Alignment, just
yeah.
I mean, I could get like your character does an evil act. That would make more sense to me.
Yeah.
Just
it could be maybe you could have like a chart or something. So in one game, it's an ATLA. Avatar: The Last Airbender.
That game.
The role playing,
one, right?
The Kickstarter role playing game that I was gonna buy, and then I was like, oh, I don't have $200 sitting around. Now I do because I have a job, but at the time I was a broke high school student. Anyways,
when you miss Avatar: The Last Airbender.
So they have this chart on there, and it's called your balance chart, and it's a good and evil chart thing. Oh, Logan just went to go close the door and fix the thing because someone was messing with it. Thank you, Logan.
No problem.
Okay, so they have this chart, and it's a good and evil chart, and you start in the middle of it with your little tile, and then every time you do either a good or evil act, which is determined by the GM or the DM, depends on which game you're playing, right?
Yeah.
You'll move your tile over, and your character will have to either act more good or more evil. So I kind of like that. I don't know how well that would apply in D&D, because Avatar: The Last Airbender is very much less broad of a spectrum. It's a lot more of this is a canonized show that there's a game that revolves around it.
You have
a very set structure. Yeah. Whereas D&D, literally in all of the books, it says it's basically open for interpretation. Just have fun with it.
Yeah, which is
great. Yeah. So I don't know how well that would fit in D&D. Maybe we should try that sometime.
We could try that one.
Just like a chart thing or something.
I might do like so D1, the D100 scale things, like a damage chart. Just say suddenly you have to do one of these heinous acts or something like that.
Yeah.
You cast a spell that's super heinous or something like that. I don't know. It just make more sense to me.
Yeah. It'd be cool. So, in closing, let's make alignment not something that applies to the rules, but just something that is kind of there.
Yeah.
And it just kind of does its own thing, open for interpretation, basically. And then doesn't apply to spells. I know some. I think it's the paladin class. Like it applies to the class.
So that makes sense. If you're gonna make it a paladin thing, like
Paladins
is all about I must do exactly what my god requires of me.
And then, do you still think that like patrons and eldritch beings and gods should have alignments, or no?
Yes, I think they should, because that's what they're being defined as. God is basically, if you're playing it,
it's the embodiment of.
Yes, it is the embodiment of that. That's
a
why
good
you
and evil.
If you worship, let's say, Lolth from the.
Hey, I worship Lolth sometimes.
No one does that.
Yes, I do.
Don't do that. She's creepy.
I play a drow.
She's so creepy.
I always play a drow. Except for I have a character sitting over there that's actually the new race of elf that they just came out with.
They did?
The Eladrin. The season one. Yeah.
Seasonal elf. Oh, those guys are weird.
Yeah, I decided I'd try playing one, and I haven't gotten a chance to play with it, but it's just sitting there ready to go, so it's cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, this has been, I guess, our first episode of, what are we calling this?
I don't know.
Okay. We'll come up with the name. We'll probably edit it into the beginning.
Yay!
But I think this went well. This was a really good pilot episode. It was literally, I called you. Well, I was texting with you today.
Yeah.
And and we were like, hey. I was like, hey, I've got this thing set up. Do you want to come record a podcast with me? And
sure.
You were like, yeah, sure. And you literally just ran over here.
Let's go talk. Why not? I love talk.
This is one thing. I do want to put in a plug for another podcast that I'm actually going to be recording tomorrow with Jacob and Evan. And so what it is it's called The Unlocked Door. And what's going to happen is Jacob and Evan, they're going to be kind of doing what we're doing right now.
Yeah. And
then I'm going to be kind of off to the side, and I'll be kind of helping, but I'll be mostly just doing like note-taking and things like that. But what it is it's going to be, so at the beginning of the podcast, we're going to just open up the laptop, press go on a random topic generator.
Yeah.
It's going to generate a random topic. So I'm the producer. I kind of write down stuff. Like before this, I was talking with you. I was like, okay, what are we talking about?
Yeah.
Kind of deal, writing some stuff down. But with this one, it's going to literally just be improv go on whatever the topic is.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a little bit of a wild ride. And you know Evan and
I know Evan.
Jacob. This is going to be... What did I give
I
myself?
have no idea. I think their topic is executioner.
I think the first one that like they went to the random generator site I sent them, and I think the first topic was execution. Oh my gosh. But yeah, so
they're gonna have so much to talk about.
Yeah, so make sure you go check that one out. I think we're gonna be trying to do these at least weekly, maybe a little more often or a little less often, just depends. But yeah, that's gonna be The Unlocked Door at Hellfire Studios on for now, YouTube. Hopefully later I can get this stuff on Spotify and things like that. Maybe Apple Podcasts would be great. Google Podcasts, just lots of different things. Amazon Music with like Alexa and stuff like that. But yeah, thanks for listening, guys. And I guess we'll see you next week with more on D&D.